All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking something a lot of you have been asking about. How exactly top-tier privacy systems, specifically secure core tech and strict no-logs policies, actually work together to build a literal fortress around your data. If you've ever flipped that privacy switch and wondered, okay, but what's really happening under the hood? Or how this stuff actually stops everyone from hackers to government snoops, well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get right to it.
So we're all taught to just trust our VPNs, right? You turn it on, pick a server halfway across the world, and boom, you assume you're perfectly hidden. But what if the VPN server itself is compromised? It kind of flips our whole understanding of privacy on its head. Think about it. What if a highly resourced attacker, or even an authoritarian government, is actively watching the exact server you trust? If they've tapped into that single exit node, say at the data center level, just having one basic layer of defense, yeah, that might not be enough to keep your true identity under wraps.
And here is the ultimate problem with standard VPNs. They essentially give you a single point of failure. When your device connects straight to one exit server, that single server is doing all the heavy lifting. So if a smart adversary is watching that specific node, they could pull off what's called a correlation attack. Basically, they match the size and timing of the data going in with the data coming out, and just like that, they've de-anonymized you. Your real IP address is out there. But this is where secure core VPNs completely change the game. Instead of one server, they build an impenetrable, double-layered shield. By bouncing your traffic through two totally separate, hardened servers in different parts of the world, it literally breaks the link between where you are and where you're browsing. The attacker, they just can't connect the dots.
Let's actually trace the exact journey of your data to see how this works in practice. First, your device scrambles everything with local encryption. Next, it sends that data straight to a specially hardened secure core server. Now, this is the critical checkpoint. Only after it passes through this virtual fortress does your data move on to the final exit server, and then, finally, out to the wider internet. So, why go through all this trouble? Well, because it completely blinds anyone trying to spy on that exit node. Even if that final server is totally compromised, physically tapped, whatever, your true IP address stays completely hidden. An attacker watching that exit node, the only thing they'll ever see is the IP of the secure core server, never yours.
Now, you might be wondering about that very first stop your data makes. It definitely isn't just picked out of a hat. The physical location of that initial secure core server is absolutely crucial. They deliberately place these servers in specific safe havens, places like Switzerland, Iceland, and Sweden. Basically, they're using geography as a literal defense mechanism. These countries have incredible, historically strong data privacy laws. They are known for shutting down unwarranted international snooping. So, by anchoring the secure core network exclusively in these incredibly strict legal environments, it adds a massive layer of protection before your data even gets close to a high-risk location.
Okay, so it's one thing to encrypt your data while it's zipping across the internet, but what about the actual physical machine sitting in a rack somewhere? That is where full disk encryption comes into play. It essentially scrambles every single byte of data on the server's hard drive, making it totally unreadable unless you have the exact cryptographic key. This means that in an absolute worst-case scenario, say some rogue agency physically kicks down the data center door, rips the hard drive straight out of the machine and takes it to a lab, they're going to get absolutely nothing. Zero. Because the second that machine loses power, the keys drop from its temporary memory and all the software certificates and configurations are locked away for good.
And honestly, the level of physical security they use is just wild. We aren't talking about renting a bit of space in some generic warehouse. These are heavily fortified, exclusive data centers. Plus, the provider owns, ships, and sets up every single server themselves. By keeping the whole shebang strictly in-house, they completely wipe out the risk of a third-party supply chain attack. You know, where someone sneaks a backdoor into a server before it even arrives. Oh, and these high-security facilities? We're talking biometric access and incredibly strict protocols. It's a meticulous, end-to-end lockdown designed to make sure nobody, not a rogue employee, not an outside actor, can physically tamper with the hardware.
But even with all that unbreakable hardware, the genius network routing, and the biometric locks, we still have to ask the big question, the ultimate stress test. What actually happens if a government shows up with a legal warrant backed by international courts and forces the company to hand over your data? Because let's be real, the best tech in the world means absolutely nothing if the provider is legally forced to just hit print on your activity logs and hand them straight to the authorities.
Well, when you dig into their transparency reports, their legal shield becomes crystal clear. This right here is where the physical tech meets the legal foundation, and it's what really finishes off their defensive perimeter. Because they operate their core infrastructure out of Switzerland, they sit entirely outside the jurisdiction of big international intelligence sharing agreements, like the Five Eyes or 14 Eyes networks. They literally state it in black and white. Under Swiss law, they are not obligated to save connection logs, period. They adhere to a strict no-logs policy, which means they are fundamentally unable to comply with requests for user connection logs. It's an absolutely brilliant maneuver. They're basically using the law itself to guarantee your anonymity.
Honestly, the sheer simplicity of this defense is probably my favorite part of the whole system. For them, a no-logs policy isn't some flashy marketing buzzword. It is a structural, hard-coded reality. They don't store your online activity, they don't track the sites you visit, and crucially, they don't keep any metadata logs. No records of your original IP address, no timestamps of when you logged on, no bandwidth usage logs, nothing. So if the authorities come knocking with a legally binding warrant demanding to know what you were up to, the company's hands are totally tied, but in the best possible way. They literally cannot hand over what they don't collect. The data simply does not exist. Now, in the privacy world, blind faith is basically a massive security vulnerability, right? Trust absolutely has to be verified by data. Transparency is everything. And that is exactly why all their application code is completely open source. Anyone, from a weekend hobbyist to a pro security researcher, can inspect the code and verify for themselves that there aren't any hidden backdoors. But they don't stop there. They also subject their entire infrastructure to brutal, unforgiving audits by independent security experts, and then they publish those unredacted reports for the whole world to read. Taking transparency to that extreme transforms marketing claims into actual mathematical proof. And really, it's a huge reason why their tech is officially supported by the European Commission and actually recommended by the United Nations for protecting human rights defenders.
At the end of the day, all of this advanced tech translates to one thing: real human safety. We've spent this explainer geeking out over double-layered routing, full disk encryption, and Swiss privacy laws, but the real-world impact is profound. These technical and legal layers are actively keeping millions of journalists, dissidents, and activists safe from incredibly severe, life-threatening surveillance. By defeating deep packet inspection and legally blocking data collection, they're empowering people in hostile regions to actually speak freely and bypass state censorship. And for everyday users like us, it just ensures total, uncompromising peace of mind every single time you connect to the internet.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought to help you evaluate your own digital footprint. Take a really close look at the tools you rely on every single day. Do they genuinely have the physical infrastructure to withstand a targeted attack? Do they route your traffic securely enough to actually break the chain of identity? And maybe most importantly, what are their exact legal obligations when push comes to shove and a warrant is issued? I'd really encourage you to dig a little deeper into how your current tools handle your most sensitive info. Because true privacy, it's way more than just a toggle switch on your phone. It's an ironclad combination of bulletproof technology and the legal right to remain completely unseen. When a government demands your data, are you absolutely certain there is nothing to give?